Yes, yes.
Okay?
Yes, yes.
So, good luck. Calm down. Keep it fine. Okay? Deep. Fine.
Hi everyone. Sorry, extremely very sorry for all the technical glitches. We are live now. If you are able to listen to me and my screen is visible, you are able to see the PPT, please kindly let me know in the chat box. Hi, am I audible? Are you guys able to listen to me? Am I audible? Please let me know. Am I audible? Mm-hmm. This is they're showing me unlisted. 1 second. यस मैं पब्लिक इसको कर रही हूँ एंड वही आ रहा है मुझे भी यार मैंने रिफ्रेश ना अभी लाइव स्ट्रीम को मैंने पब्लिक किया है एक कैन यू नाउ सी मी ऑन द चैनल लेट मी नो वही वही हो रहा है टैक्सबडी टैक्सबडी लाइव स्ट्रीम के नाम से कुछ आ रहा होगा हाँ I'm changing the name also. Live but not with that link. The link is not sent. जो रिफ्रेश किया और वो हट गया वहाँ से प्रॉब्लम वही हुई है and this was another live stream which got started automatically. It's, what should we do? क्योंकि अभी इसमें कोई है ही नहीं ज्वाइन भी नहीं है अच्छा सर सब कुछ दो नहीं 3 बार किया कल 2 बार किया और आज सुबह 1 बार किया पुराना तो नहीं, ये नए भी चल रहा है. Someone texted me. नाम चेंज हो गया है, बट थिंग्स टू कीप इन माइंड. Yes, 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 yes. There are two viewers. हाँ, एक बार ये लिंक फॉरवर्ड करो क्योंकि ये चल रहा है अभी प्रेजेंट. हेलो. ब्रिज. दूसरी दूसरी लिंक से. वो मैं लाइव हूँ, बट वो दूसरी लिंक से लाइव जा चुकी हूँ, जिसका लिंक अभी श्री सर फॉरवर्ड कर रहे हैं दिनेश को. तो सॉरी. हाँ हाँ हाँ, मैं टैक्स बडी पे ही लाइव हूँ अभी एट प्रेजेंट. हम्म हम्म. ओके. हम्म. एक लिंक भेजा है सर ने, उसके थ्रू एक बार अभी. हाँ. हम्म. मैं आपसे करती हूँ फिर उसके बाद बात समझ. हाँ 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 हाँ. Hi, am I audible? Okay, so shall we start? Hi, am I audible? Okay. So I'm very extremely sorry for all the technical glitches due to which we are starting late. So whosoever is present, I welcome you all. I am Nitisha Jain, Assistant Manager of Taxbuddy.com, and today we are here to know about the things which we have to keep in mind before filing our income tax return. Already we are short of time, so without any further delay, we'll move towards our today's agenda. We are going to discuss about all the list of documents which are required for ITR filing. Then what is Form 16? How we can get that Form 16? What will be the uses of Form 16 for filing our income tax return? We'll be looking all of those things. Then what is Form 26AS? How we can download it? What are the uses of Form 26AS in filing our income tax return? We'll see that, and this will be followed up by the tax saving ideas, and or I can say what are the tax saving avenues that will help you to lower your taxes to a great extent. So coming on to our first topic, that what are the list of documents which are required for filing your income tax return. These all will be required when you file your income tax return. So as we all know that now ITR filing season has set in, and normally 31st July of the assessment year following the financial year is usually the last day to file our income tax return of any given financial year. Due to COVID, from last 2 years, the last date of filing ITR got extended. Last year it was 31st December, and before that it was 10th of January. But as of now, for this year, dates have not been yet extended. It is still 31st July 2022. So I request you all to file your income tax return on time. Still, we have plenty of time. We are left with more than a month to file your income tax return. Don't wait for the last day. Just file your ITR and avoid the penalties and end moment glitches. So, moving forward, process of filing your income tax return in India takes some preparations, right? This is why the government usually gives you 4 months window period to compile all the documents like salary, income details, bank statements, previous tax statements, etc. Procedure varies as per the income earned per year and the income sources like salary, business profit, investment profits, and so on. So, the income tax return which you file is an annexure-less return, which means there is no documents or proof which are required to be attached with the returns. Income Tax Act specifies obtaining certificates and proofs to claim deductions, which makes it ambiguous for the taxpayers as to whom they must hand over those certificates and proof. The taxpayer must preserve those certificates and receipts for future references and need not attach or to send them to anyone. Say, for example, you were having rent receipts and you forgot that to submit to your employer. But at the time of filing your income tax return, you remember that you were having rent receipts and you want to claim HRA. So, still, at the time of filing your income tax return, you can claim the HRA amount, but you don't need to attach all the rent receipts or anything related to that rental agreements like that to your income tax return. So this means to say, filing your income tax return is annexure-less return. We don't need to attach any kind of proof or anything. But if you are receiving any notice, any further future, in future, if you received any kind of notice from the income tax department, at that time, you will have to submit all those documents which are required by them, which they are asking. So don't bluff the amount and just enter the correct and exact amount which you want to claim, which is in your receipts. So collating all your documents ready is just one aspect of it. Now, if now let's see what are the documents which you require. We'll discuss it one by one. First one is Form 16. For all the salaried employees, every employer send them their Form 16. Now, what is Form 16? What are the components of Form 16? These all will be discussing one by one in detail in the next upcoming slides. Secondly, interest certificates from banks and post office. If you are having any kind of interest certificate with you, say for example, we have the bank statements or passbook for interest on saving account. Then if you are having interest statement for fixed deposits or TDS certificates which are issued by banks and others, that you will have to keep them handy with you so that you can include it in your income tax return. Then your Form 26AS. Again, I'll explain in detail about Form 26AS in the next upcoming slide. So here I'm not discussing. Then deductions and tax saving investments. So all the tax saving investments which are made by you and the expenditure which you have incurred will be eligible for deductions under Section 80C, 80CCC, 80CCD. There are a lot of Chapter 6A deductions. All the Chapter 6A deductions I'll explain one by one again in next upcoming slide in the tax saving ideas. So here, just to give a brief, you will have to attach, you'll have to keep all the tax saving investment proof handy with you in which you have made all of your investments. Say for example, you have made investment into ELSS mutual funds, or you have taken any kind of tax saving FDs. All of those investment proof, you'll have to keep it handy with you so that If you miss to submit any of the proof to your employer, then you can directly include it in your ITR filing. After that, if you are having any documentary proof to claim deductions under 80D to 80U, then you can use that. Then, if you have taken any kind of home loan, so from bank we always, if we have taken a housing loan, then we'll receive a bank statement, we'll receive a home loan statement from bank or any kind of NBFC where you have taken the loan. In that will be showing the interest amount as well as principal amount. That home loan statement will be very useful at the time of filing your income tax return. Then at last you'll have to enter the correct bank account details as well as your correct Aadhaar number, because these are very important documents for filing the ITR. So these are the documents which you have to keep handy with you at the time of filing your income tax return. Now we'll be discussing most important topic, what is Form 16 and from where you can get it. All the doubts will be cleared now. So coming on to Form 16 part, Form 16 is essentially a certificate which employers issue to their employees. It provides a validation that the TDS has been deducted and deposited with the government authorities on behalf of the employee. It gives a detailed summary of the salary which is paid to the employees and the TDS which has been deducted. So Form 16 generally comprises of two components, Part A and Part B. In case if you have, say for example, one more thing, if you have switched your job during one particular financial year, you were working for 6 months in one company, then for another 6 months you left the company and you joined the new company. So you'll have to receive your Form 16 from both the companies. Keep this thing in mind. You'll have to upload both the Form 16 when you will file your income tax return. Or if you are taking the help of any tax expert, then you'll have to submit all the documentary proof to that tax expert so that they can file your income tax return very smoothly without any problem. So you'll have to upload both the Form 16. Now Part A of Form 16 will cover, it generally provides the details of quarterly TDS and which has been deducted and deposited. Then details of the TAN of the employer along with other information. An employer can generate and download this part of Form 16 through the portal. So remember this thing, that we cannot download the Form 16. We can download Form 26AS but not the Form 16. We'll receive Form 16 from our employers only. Then it will also show the PAN of the employee, summary of whatever tax amount has been deducted and deposited quarterly, which is certified by the employer. Then Part B of Form 16 will cover, it is generally an annexure to Part A. So it is to be prepared by the employer for its employees, and it will contain the details of breakup of salary, then deductions which are approved under Chapter 6A. And as I said, if you change your job in one financial year, you should take Form 16 from both the employees. Now some of the components of Form 16 contains, first one is the detailed breakup of salary, then detailed breakup of the exempted allowances under Section 10. Now, these are the Section 10 allowances. First and foremost and very important deduction which many of the individual claim is the house rent allowances. What is house rent? What do you mean by HRA? It means the component of salary which is received towards the rent payment and is allowed as deduction from the taxable salary. If you have any questions, I'll be seeing all the questions, but just give me some time and I'll be answering all the questions at the end. So yeah, coming on to the HRA part, normally we have this mentality that whatever amount I'm paying as rent, that entire amount I'll get as deduction. This is not the case. You will be getting HRA deduction. Income tax law provides three basic conditions of HRA exemption. First one is actual HRA, which is received by the employee. Second, 40% of the salary for non-metro city and 50% of the salary if the rented property is situated in metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Chennai. And the third condition is actual rent paid less 10% of the salary. Now, many people have this question, what if I'm having a loan as well as I'm paying rent? So can I still claim HRA? Answer to this question is yes, you can still claim HRA amount if you are living in a rented property in different city and you are having your own self-occupied house property in different city and you are paying the loan amount as well as you are paying the rent amount. If it is situated in different city, then you can claim the same thing. Then you can claim the HRA amount. So, say for example, you have your house property in Mumbai, which is let out, and you live in. You can pay rent to your parents if you are staying with your parents. This should be done by transferring the rent amount to their bank account. This way, you will be able to claim your HRA deduction properly. Since rent is paid to the owners, property must be owned by your parents. Since rent is paid to the owners, property must be owned by them. So if you are the owner of the property in which you are living into, then remember that you cannot claim the HRA amount. What will be the documents that will be required to claim the HRA while staying with your parents? First one will be the rent agreement and rent receipts. So usually employer asks for the copy of rental agreement for their records. So you can submit those agreement or rent receipts to them. Otherwise, if you have not submitted to them, you forgot the rent receipts, then in that situation, you can directly claim the HRA amount in your income tax return. And one more thing, if HRA you have taken and you are paying rent to your parents, then in that situation, the rental amount which has been paid to your parents will be taxable in their hands. So then coming on to the next deduction. Form B, part B of Form 16 will cover the standard deductions. So generally employees will get flat 50,000 of standard deduction in their Form 16 part B. It was 40,000 before the amendment, but after amendment, all the salaried individuals will get flat deduction of 50,000 rupees. Then professional tax, this amount usually depend on the state of employment where your company is situated. Accordingly, amount will be deducted. It will be 2,400 or 2,500 rupees according to the state. Then comes all the chapter 6A deductions, which are showing in the all the investments which are made into. So all the chapter 6A deduction will be part of this. ATC, then ATD, ATCCD 1B. I'm going to discuss all of these in the next slide. So that is why I'm not discussing it over here. Before moving on to our next topic, first I'll take some of the questions, whatever you are having. If you have any questions, you can just post down in the chat box. I'll be answering all of those. Are you having some questions or shall we move? Yes, Sachin, you were asking something. Okay. So 26AS and Annual Information System, which is AIS, is, I can say, usually the same thing, but 26As, I'll explain. The 26As part is will be coming now, and AIS usually provides more detail about the things, which are, which you have, like, say for example, if you have sold the land or building, like that. So all those details, more detail part will be coming in your AIS part. About the leave travel allowance, if you are getting the allowance from your company and it is showing in your that salary slip, then you are allowed to claim the leave travel allowance, and that depends on the company policy, what amount of expenditure they are reimbursing to you. And if you have traveled during the year, there was only 1 year when the government made the deduction due to COVID, when you were allowed to claim the leave travel concession of the goods or services which you were purchasing between the period starting from October till 31st March. But that amendment didn't is not followed in this year return. So if you have traveled during the last year, so then you can claim, you can submit the your fare, that travel receipts and everything to your employer, and you can ask for the leave travel allowance thing. uh, Moving forward towards our next topic, which is form 26AS. So talking about form 26AS, or I can say a tax credit statement, it is one of the most important tax document for any taxpayer. It truly reflects how much tax you have paid to the income tax department, either by yourself or through the other taxpayer. It is a consolidated annual tax statement which shows the details of tax deducted at source, then tax collected at source, how much advance tax you have paid, along with the self assessment tax. This information is specific to the permanent account number. It will depend on person to person. This form also shows the details of sale or purchase of immovable property, then mutual funds, cash deposits or withdrawals from saving account, etc. So the taxpayer can claim the tax deducted reflecting in their Form 26AS while filing their ITRs. Now, how you can download your Form 26AS from the new income tax website? I'll explain those steps. First of all, you'll have to log into the income tax department site. Just go on to the incometax.gov.in. Then secondly, you'll have to enter your user ID over there. You'll have to enter your PAN number and you'll have to click on proceed. After that, just enter your password and you will see a confirm secure access message over there. Just tick box that and click on login. When you will click on login, you will see this kind of login page. Your dashboard will be in front of your screen. So here you will have to go on to the e-file tab, then click on income tax returns. When you will go on to income tax return, then in the fourth point, you will see view form 26AS. When you will click on this view form 26AS, it will redirect you to the traces portal. There you will have to enter the assessment here, for which you'll have to download your form 26AS, and you can just view it, or even you can download it for the future reference. Whatever you want to do it, you can just do it in this way. This will help you to see all the information which you have, which the how much tax has been deducted quarterly, or all the monthly tax deduction details will be reflecting in your form 26As, and this will help you in filing your income tax return. If you are taking anybody's help, then you can submit your form 26As to them, so that it will be easy for them to just file your income tax return using that form 26As details. It will also show you the deduction if you have any interest income from bank deposits, or any kind of bank interest income you are having, and if bank has also deducted some amount of TDS, that will also be reflecting in your Form 26AS. After this, coming on to the major tax saving deductions which anyone can avail, we are coming on to that topic. So, Income Tax Department, with a view to encourage savings and investments among the taxpayers, have provided the deductions from the taxable income under Chapter 6A. So, ATC being the most famous, there are other deductions which are beneficial for the taxpayers too, to reduce the tax liability, but most of us make the investments more into ATC. So ATC provides the maximum deduction limit of rupees 1,50,000 rupees. Whatever amount you invest into ATC components, but you are going to get maximum deduction up to 1.5 lakh rupees only. Now, what are the components which form part of ATC? We'll be discussing all of those one by one. First and foremost one is the Employee Provident Fund, EPF. So EPF, whenever we get our salary slip, in the deduction part, we will always see one component which is Employee Provident Fund. This automatically our employer deducts from our salary, and it will be reflecting in your Form 16 also whenever you will receive that in the ATC deduction part. So the employer gets deduction for the amount contributed towards EPF of employees as business expenditure. There is no tax liability for the employee in respect of contribution made by the employer up to 12% of the basic salary, beyond it which become taxables in the hand of employee. Likewise, in case the aggregate amount of the contribution made by the employer towards employees' EPF, superannuation or NPS account of the employee taken together, if it exceeds 7.5 lakh, then such excess becomes taxable in the hands of employee. Then secondly, if you have any children's tuition fees, then the tuition fee for the education of 2 children will be eligible for tax deduction under section ADC, again up to 1.5 lakh limit. Fees can be paid to any school, college, university or any educational institution which is situated in India, and the fees have to be for full-time course only. Then if you have taken any kind of life insurance premium and you are paying the annual premium, that in the name of taxpayer or taxpayer's wife and children, that will be an eligible tax saving payment under ATC. Deduction is valid only if the premium amount is less than 10% of the sum assured. Then I'll explain now. If you have taken any kind of home loan, then as I said previously that you will receive an interest certificate from the bank. So in that interest certificate, you will see two components. First one will be the interest payment and second one will be the principal repayment part. Interest payment part will be going under income from house property head under section 24, and the limit of deduction will be up to rupees 2 lakh only. I repeat, that home loan interest part will consist of two parts, interest payment and the principal repayment. Interest part will fall under income from house property head up to the limit of 2 lakh, you are going to get the deduction, and the principal part of the repayment will be coming under ATC up to the maximum limit of 1.5 lakh. And if you have also paid the stamp duty, registration charges and transfer expenses, so in the year in which you are paying all of those expenditure, in that particular year, you are going to get the deduction amount again in the ATC section itself. So ATC comprises of many kind of investments. It depends on you that in what amount, how much amount you have to invest, in what particular investment you have to invest. It totally depends on the individual to individual. It depends on the salary, how much you are earning, how much you want to invest for your future, everything like that. Then comes the ELSS mutual fund. You can also invest into that. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, NSE certificates, all these form part of ATC. But the maximum limit will be capped up to 1,50,000 rupees only. Then coming on to next deduction, which is 80CCC, deduction for life insurance annuity plan. This is the pension plan which is other than central government. Then if you are investing into NPS. Now let's talk more about NPS in detail. So if you yourself want to invest into NPS thing, then 80CCD 1B section will come into picture, and you are going to get deduction up to rupees 50,000 in NPS, and this will be over and above the limit of 1.5 lakh rupees. So you can investing into NPS is very good thing. So there is what you need to know if you are concerned about your retirement and you are looking forward to plan with tax saving benefits, then NPS is the best tax saving instrument. It is known for its investor friendly features, low cost structure, flexibility. Here you can invest minimum amount of rupees 6,000 in installments or at least rupees 500 or as lump sum. So being the investor, you get to decide how to allocate your money for investments or for corporate bonds and equity. You can claim additional self contribution up to rupees 50,000 under 80CCD 1P as NPS tax benefit. So altogether from 80C and 80CCD 1B, you can claim 2 lakh of total deduction. As a pension scheme, it is important for you to continue investing until the age of 60 years. But if you have been investing for at least 3 years, you may withdraw up to 25% for certain purpose, which will include children's wedding or higher studies, building or buying your own house, or for any kind of medical treatment for your family, amongst other, totally up to your requirements. Then you can make withdrawal up to 3 times with the gap of 5 years in the entire tenure. NPS usually have two accounts, tier 1 and tier 2. So tier 1 account is by default it will be open, and tier 2 account is voluntary. Withdrawal from tier 1 account is not permitted, but from tier 2 it is permitted. Tax exemption which you are going to get in tier 1 account will be rupees 2 lakh total. From 80C it will be 1.5 lakh, and from 80CCD 1B it will be additionally 50,000 rupees. So total from these two accounts it will be 2 lakh rupees. Then from tier 2 it will be 1.5 lakh for government employees, and for other employees it is none. Minimum NPS contribution in tier 1 account is rupees 500 or 1000 rupees per annum, but in tier 2 it is 250 rupees only, and there is no maximum limit of NPS contribution in both the accounts. So this scheme generally encourages people to invest into the pension account at regular intervals so that you can secure your future via this. Then coming on to our next deduction, which is ATD, health insurance or medical insurance expenditure. If you have taken any kind of medical insurance premium for yourself or your spouse or your children, and your age is below 60 years, then you are going to get deduction up to rupees 25,000 rupees. And if you have taken any medical insurance policy for your senior citizen parents whose age are above 60 years, then the amount of deduction will get increased to 50,000 rupees. And say for example, you have not taken medical insurance premium for your senior citizen parents, but you are incurring medical expenditure on their behalf, then also you can claim deduction up to rupees 50,000 for your senior citizen uninsured parents. I hope am I clear, or I'll repeat it again. If you have not taken medical insurance policy for your senior citizen parents, but you are incurring medical expenditure on their behalf, then also you will be allowed to claim deduction up to rupees 50,000. But for yourself, if your age is below 60 years, then you are allowed to claim up to rupees 25,000. And also for preventive health checkup, you can claim up to rupees 5,000 of benefit. So this is all about ATD investment. Then coming on to our next deduction, which is ATEA, interest on housing loan. Taxpayer can claim total deduction of 3.5 lakh for interest on home loan if they meet the conditions of ATEA. Now, what are the conditions for claiming this deduction? First of all, housing loan must be taken from financial institution or a housing finance company for buying a residential house property only. And this loan must be sanctioned during the period starting from 1st April 2019 till 31st March 2022. Stamp duty value of the house property should be rupees 45 lakh or less than that. Then individual taxpayer should not be eligible to claim deduction under the existing section, which is 80EE. And if this is your first time, you are buying the house for the first time, then you will be eligible to claim this deduction. Taxpayer should not own any residential house property as on the date of sanction of loan. So this section has been introduced to further extend the benefit. From section 24, you can claim 2 lakh rupees. First, exhaust that limit of 2 lakh, and then if you are meeting the condition, if you are satisfying the conditions of 80EA section, then you are allowed to claim additional deduction of 1.5 lakh rupees. Now, as we all know that many of us are switching to the electric vehicle concept. So that is why government has also provided deduction for electric vehicle thing. This deduction is available only to the individuals. It is not available to any other taxpayer. Then deduction for the interest payment up to rupees 1.5 lakh is available under section 80EEB. An individual taxpayer may have the electric vehicle for personal use or for business use. This deduction would facilitate individuals having an electric vehicle for personal use to claim the interest paid on the vehicle loan. In case of business use, an individual can also claim the deduction up to 1.5 lakh under section 80EB. Any interest payment above rupees 1.5 lakh can be claimed as business expenditure. But to claim it as business expense, it is necessary that the vehicle should be registered in the name of the owner or the business enterprise. Do note that the individual taxpayer should obtain the interest paid certificate and keep the necessary documents such as tax invoice and the loan documents handy at the time of filing your income tax return. There are also some conditions for claiming this deduction. First one, again, loan must be taken from any financial institution for buying the electric vehicle. Then secondly, loan must be sanctioned during the period starting from 1st April 2019 till 31st March 2023. Still, you have time to claim this deduction. If you are sanctioning the loan and up to 31st March 2023, then you can avail the benefit, interest benefit up to rupees 1.5 lakh from 80EB section, and you can claim the deduction from it. Now, if you want to file your income tax return, then you can just download the Taxbuddy's app, or you can just take the help. You can log in with your phone number, and you will get a call from our tax experts who are very much qualified, and they will help you in filing your income tax return as per your requirement, whatever things you are having. If you are having only salary income, if you are having any other income along with salary income, all of those plans are available on the website. You can explore all of those plans, or you can just use the services of taxbuddy.com, which is the highest Google rating platform with rating of 4.9. All of these ratings are properly shown on the website. You can just explore the website and use the services and make the best use of the taxbuddy.com services, and you will see that your return is filed very smoothly without any errors, without any notice cases. So this was all about the today's webinar. I hope I made all the points clear. I'm happy to take up some questions live. Rahul, medical expenditure can be made through online or offline transactions. There is no problem, but only the thing is that you'll have to keep all the receipts, all the medical bills with you, so that in case in future if you are receiving any kind of notice, then it is easy for you to show to the department. Tax planning respect to rent paid to parents. So there is no tax planning actually. It's just that if you are staying with your parents and still you want to claim the HRA amount, then you can just pay rent to them and then you can claim the HRA exemption amount in your income tax return. And kindly note that the rent amount which you are paying to your parents will be taxable in your parents' income tax return. So that there are some, if you want to claim deduction for particular diseases or anything, then for that thing, section 80 DDB section is there is one section which is 80 DDB. In that, there are some particular diseases which are specified. If you are falling under all of those disease, then you can claim the deduction in that particular section. Otherwise, there is no particular disease specified. You can claim the deduction under 80D if you are having the medical insurance premium for yourself. Any more questions? Are we having any further questions? Okay, I hope this session was very useful for everyone present here. Again, really sorry for starting the session late due to some technical glitches. But thank you once again for joining in such a great number. And we'll see you soon in the next upcoming session with more additional things which we'll be knowing in the upcoming session. Thank you all for joining and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Thank you all. Bye-bye.